Hi everyone, welcome back to a brand new season of Get Candid. This season we're doing things a little differently. We are stepping beyond the world of celebrities to have raw, important conversations with people who truly make an impact in our lives, in our communities and in our culture. And I couldn't think of a more meaningful way to begin than with someone who quite literally saves lives. Not just for the world, but for me personally. Today I have the honor of sitting down with Dr. Rajesh Rajani, one of India's leading cardiologists who also cared for my father with unmatched dedication and heart. Let's get candid. Welcome on the show, Doc.
Thank you very much, Sasha, for having me over here.
Thank you so much for coming because I think the new episode needed somebody real, somebody that I know very closely and somebody that we have worked very closely as well. So it's really, I think I would say I'm very lucky to have you today on the show.
Thank you very much.
Let's dive into the questions directly. You've become a household name in cardiology, but let's go back to beginning and what made you choose the path?
Yeah, very interesting question, Sasha. You know, when I was very young, maybe 6 years of age or so, I was deeply interested in movies. I was enamored, absolutely enamored by movies, any form, any language, be it Hindi, more in Hindi of course, because our mother tongue, although I'm a Sindhi, but my mother tongue was Hindi, we spoke in Hindi. So any movies, I used to just love it. So I wanted to become an actor. But my mother was a very dominating force in the family and she was very sure that I cannot be an actor at all. And she kept on telling me that, look, you don't have the aptitude, you don't have the looks, you don't have the background, you cannot become an actor. So then I used to ask her then, what should I? She told me that the best thing to happen to you is to become a doctor. And I used to ask her, why doctor? She said, doctor is a profession where there's tremendous amount of security and respect. And you effortlessly do community service. Now these three words are very important for me. Effortlessness of community service, security and respect. And she completely carved my, my whole career as if she had put a dam and then she rerouted the river. And that is how the whole process started off.
That is quite interesting and something that I definitely didn't know this side of doctor.
in fact, when I never used to read or never used to do my homework, she used to say that, look, I'll show you movies on Saturdays and Sundays, you become a good student.
Right.
And that was a bribe she used to, offer me. Yeah, so that's how it is, yes.
Very interesting, guys. So if you're looking at becoming an actor, like guys, your career may just change because look at him. Like I would never imagine something like, I would prefer, like, I don't know, I would imagine like an engineer getting into or CA, something more academic, I would say. So that's interesting, Doc.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, was there a moment in your early life or medical training that made you say, hey, this is it, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah, very interesting question again. When you get into medicine, you pass through a lot of grilling sessions and a lot of competition there, a lot of reading to be done. And then when you pass your MBBS, then you're posted in, you do your internship. Now for my internship, I was posted at Dahanu, which is, at the border of Maharashtra and Gujarat. There's a cottage hospital over there and then you do your internship for around 1 year or so. Over there, when I saw very poor people coming through, huge herds, so much of illness there. I mean, it may sound cliched, but, there were so many people with infirmities, with diseases, with craving to get better. That scene was a moving scene for me. And then I realized that, effortlessness of giving it to the community lies in this profession.
Right.
And that is how, it just got imbibed and that's it. That changed the life truly.
Right.
Because you're just giving all the time.
Yeah.
And if you're giving it unconditionally, I mean, that's a great virtue.
Right. And I think we've seen that during COVID. I mean, I have deep respect for, I always had, I would say, for doctors, because I think without you guys, I don't know what we would do, and especially when it comes to my own family, like I have like deep regards. And COVID was the time where, like, everybody on the front line, you guys were working so like day and night. We are sitting at home, we are safe, and it was all because of you guys. So I do have deep respect for,
thank you.
people in the medical. How do you balance the emotional weight of the work you do? Because, it's just not technical, it's deeply human.
Yeah, that's also a very good question, Sasha. When you get onto the office, when you go into the hospital, it's just pain. You're surrounded by pain. Pain as of in general. That people are just, pouring out their diseases, their symptoms, which are negative, basically. They're not positive. I mean, you are sick, so you keep on saying. So you are surrounded by negativism all the way through. So the most important, I mean, I get tired at the end of the day, listening, because there's nothing positive which is coming through in the sense from the patients. Patients are sick. Now that's how it is. So you are surrounded by a fog of pain, pain, pain all the time. 5 or 7 years ago, maybe before 2013, I used to get quite flustered, when I used to come back home, or very tired and very drained out, till I met my master, spiritual master, Dada Shriji. Later on, when I realized that, the turbulence is going to be there outside, it is how you face it.
Correct.
So that sponging effect was there by, in spirituality, which I entered through. And that has given me a great sense of balance as compared to what it was 5 to 7 years ago. I don't get much baffled now. I do, but I don't get much baffled now, because I have created an anti-missile, which I will let you know further, during a course of conversation, in the form of meditation, which is an anti-missile, which buffers you and makes you emotionally stable and able to withstand the pain and misery around you, or whatever frustrations, or whatever negativism is harboring around you.
India has become the heart disease capital of the world. Why do you think there's such a sharp rise from what we've seen in the past?
Basically, if you track 75 to 100 years ago, take a case of a small island near Australia, Pacific, Papua New Guinea. People over there were very, very basic, non-industrialized, and the longevity was extremely high over there. Average longevity was around 90%. Suddenly, industrialization and urbanization started taking place, and you could see the studies revealing that people were dying at a much younger age over. Now, why has that taken place? It has taken place in a nutshell. We talk about India is that everybody wants to do a particular amount of work in a very short period of time. Now, you cannot do that at all. People are extremely impatient, and then breeds a phenomenon of stress. The stress which disturbs your mind completely. When the mind is disturbed, then you resort to things which you should not be doing. Breach of lifestyle, poor dietary habits, poor sleep, resorting to vices, and that is how it is. And then culmination, and then you see all these things which are taking place.
But don't you think, like what we've seen in at least, I don't know, for me, I mean, we're going to come back to that question again, but looking at especially our country right now, like recently also we lost a lot of people, whether it's from the film industry or just our loved ones that we know. Why do you think only India as such right now?
No, it is not necessarily in India. It is happening all throughout on planet Earth. It's just that the population of India is huge, and that's why, the number of people involved are much more as compared to the other world. I mean, it is sudden urbanization which has taken place, and people are unable to cope with stress. Right. They've got negative addictions. Nobody is taking positive addictions. Like if you tell someone to do mindfulness or sit in a closed room for even 15 minutes, most of them will resort to a no, because the thoughts will come and empower you completely.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to listen to that at all. Most of them won't listen to your mindfulness. They'll say that no, they resort to shortcut acts of vices, to calm their mind, which is temporarily there. Alcohol, recreational drugs, smoking, all these things are temporary. They'll calm your mind down. You'll do that particular work effortlessly, maybe in that period of, so-called calmful act. But after that, where do you stand? So people want to do a lot of things in a very short period of time, and that breeds to stress, and that is a forerunner then. Then the branching off takes place in the form of poor lifestyle.
Right, right. For people in their 30s and 40s, many without pre-existing conditions, right? Why are heart attacks becoming so common? At least what I have also seen from my family friends that we had back home, and also the recent, heart attacks that happened and led to death were all in the age group of like 30, 40, 45.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost my uncle who was just like 50, and he had no medical conditions, It was a heart attack, like a sudden death. So why do you think that has happened again?
Well, I think everybody knows, all of us know the answer of it. It's all, it's like when you have a CBI session and they're interrogating a case, then you have a notice board and they apply those strings and then they go off with the cues. So it's lifestyle one, it's vices one, lack of sleep, poor mental hygiene, no mindfulness. People at young age have got genetic factors. What has happened over years is 100 years ago, people used to live for a long period of time, and now over time we have reached a stage where there is a genetic mutation which has taken place. That means suddenly the environment has caused the genes to change for worse. So maybe 50 years ago the genes have changed, and these genes are more prone to develop heart attacks at young age, and they are transmitted to their offsprings. Right. And that is what you see. So the environment has caused a genetic tilt, unfortunately. So that's why you see the first question we ask when a young person has a heart attack is that anyone in your family has had a heart attack or sudden cardiac death or a bypass or an angioplasty between 40 to 60 years of age. 40 to 60 is young, or maybe less, and the answers invariably most of the times come, no, but I say, think about it, then say, yeah, my cousin had it, my uncle had it. So there's a sudden mutation. Now, when there is a mutation taking place, when you have a genetic predisposition, and on the top of that, you have diseases like diabetes mellitus, you have diseases like hypothyroidism, you have diseases like hypertension, you smoke, you eat anything, you're not walking, you're taking stress, where do you go? Where do you go? The body will bear the brunt, the physical body will bear the brunt, and then you have heart attacks at a young age. And people have to listen to it, that this is how it is happening. They are completely surrounded, it's trapped, you're a hostage now. So it's genetics, the sudden mutation which is taking place due to environmental reasons. There's a lot of research going on, lots and lots of research going on. Maybe things will unfold over the next 20 to 30 years where you will have drugs which will be injected or taken when you have a genetic makeup identified that, well, you got these genes which are usurped, which will cause heart attack at young age, you anti-missile it. There will be, the research is ongoing. Yeah. So that's the answer to your question.
Yeah, thank you. I think that would be a very interesting one for our viewers to know, because I feel a lot of people, at least from the close ones that I know, everyone has this question, my uncle was just this age, my friend was just like 35. And then when you get into the depth of it, somewhere down the line makes sense of what you just mentioned, the mental hygiene, your health conditions, what you're eating, are you working out, all of these, and smoking again. That's also makes sense. Yeah.
It is imperative that after the age of 40 years, you must get yourself checked every year. Yeah. It is mandatory.
In fact, Doc, I think I don't know too many people who actually do that. Very few people, at least from my circle, if I see, the women are quite proactive with that because they want to check themselves every 6 months and see how things are, the hormones and everything. But the men, very few that I know who actually go to the doctor, get themselves checked.
Oh, I think it's the fear and the phobia which is there. What if something comes out? But the point is that if something comes out, you're anyway a winner because you'll be treated and, and you know what it is. So it's a win-win situation for you, basically. So it is mandatory. And especially so if you've got a family history of premature heart disease. That means at a young age, it is imperative to do it every 40 years. And there are so many investigations, so many of them are available to you at your, within reach, absolutely. Yeah. So it is important to do it.
Correct. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Like we have been speaking about stress, this question is again regarding stress itself, and if we can, go a little deep on that. Is stress more dangerous than we realize?
If you ask me a question, what is affecting planet Earth? Every second person is completely stressed out. They are blocked. Now, block is a thing which is within you, which doesn't let you evolve as a human being. That's a spiritual angle to it. Each one I speak to has got a block. It's a block which doesn't let you progress. Yes. Now, that is there since childhood. It comes from the family. So, talking about stress, now, these blocks lead to stress because you can't progress at all. You have some block, you've got some mental infirmity which doesn't let you progress. You get stressed out at small little things for no rhyme or reason. It's the mind which is playing up. Now, how does it play up? Mind releases during stress negative hormones. We don't need to know the names of these hormones. It releases negative hormones. These negative hormones cause sudden fluctuations in the hemodynamics of the blood pressure, of the heart rate. Now that is very important because when you have these sudden fluctuations, what is the first thing to be affected is the heart. What affects the heart? The blood vessels get affected because the blood vessels carry blood to the heart. So when you have sudden rise and fall of blood pressure and you have sudden rise of heart rates, there is irregularity created within the walls of the pipes. That means within the walls of the arteries. And once that is formed, the body realizes that, hey, there is something which is happening in the wall, let me go and fix it up. It doesn't realize that in doing so, it is blocking the arteries. So when they are working on it, the arteries get blocked and then the cascade starts. So stress is a major killer. Stress. And now once you have stress, then you resort to things which I described to you to alleviate that. But that is all temporary. And that's harmful too. And that's how it is. So you got depressions, which is very, very common. You just don't do anything. You just lie down. You get stressed out. Panic disorder. Every second person I see, third person I see, they're just, just getting stressed for no rhyme or reason. Trivial things. The body is formed a sort of a circuit. And they are not able to cope up, which was not there 100 years ago. Things were different.
Even like 20 years ago, Doc, I feel things have changed so much. Like I know 20 years ago, without our digital being, available to us, this whole thing, life was very different back then. I think we would spend more time with our families. We would, watch, we would have our dinners together, have lunches together, go for vacations. It was very different, very family sort of oriented, right? Right now, I feel everyone's sort of living their own lives. They're all occupied with their own, I don't know, the bubble, I guess we all are just.
So I'll tell you, the two things which you need to balance is acceptance and expectation. It's a balance between that. It's what you expect. Your expectations right now on planet Earth has gone extremely high and acceptance is very, very poorly low. And that balance tilts off. So that's one important thing. An individual whose expectations are very less and is happy, which is a rarity, it's a divine virtue. You don't find such people at all, and who accept things. Like we crib about small things like you're traveling on the road and the potholes and things like that. Think about a person, if you think it differently, that there's so much of wars going on and there are deep craters on the road. Now you just have natural potholes, it's okay. So it's this how you think about it, and accept it. So that's acceptance. Okay, there are potholes, let's get over. No, we're talking about so many wars going on. They've got craters, they can't even walk on the road. So, it's expectation and acceptance. So, that is the most important thing which individuals should realize.
I think individuals do it, but I think it's very temporary. Like, let's just talk about during COVID times, right? Like, people accepted, okay, it's COVID, it's dangerous, we shouldn't be stepping out, we should be washing our hands, we should be doing all of this. But now, if you have to ask your patients only that do you actually wash your hands the moment you come from outside, a lot of them wouldn't probably bother as much as they bothered during the COVID time because they were scared, right? So at that time they accepted, okay, this is the thing, and they were following everything that they had to, but now they're not. So I guess it's also just temporary, and like you said, it's very difficult for sure to accept and let things go as well.
No, I think it requires deep awareness and conditioning.
Right.
You will have to be aware
Right.
of the entire situation. Awareness is an important
Yeah.
key, and that will come as we progress. I'll
Right.
tell you how it comes through.
Right.
Yes.
So we have another interesting one. What's one myth about heart health you wish more people would stop believing? One myth.
Very good question. I think the myth is that heart diseases comes only in older people and heart diseases comes only in men. Okay. Not women.
Right.
These are myths, that look, it comes only in men, not in women. I'll tell you what, the incidence of heart diseases, heart attacks in women have gone up so much since the time smoking has come into picture. Right. Stress, of course, is a common denominator. But, initially breast cancer used to be the most common disease affecting women. But now, because of smoking, heart attacks have taken over breast cancer.
Okay.
You see, so women now carry nearly the same risk as compared to men. They used to say that up to menopause, women carry less, but that's not the case with smoking now.
Okay.
And it's not that the heart disease comes only, in old people.
Yeah. No, that completely I agree with you now.
You're
with,
seeing it.
yeah.
That, and the third is that lifestyle has got no role.
Yeah.
Lifestyle has got no role in, really curbing the heart disease. So these are the myths, I think. The first two are very important myths which have to be understood by individuals, that especially the women gender, that it is very, very common now.
It's actually, I think I also was on that myth where, you said, yeah, maybe men, because most of the males are the ones who are, going through it. But the recent deaths that I've seen also then makes me realize that, oh, well, like, yeah, we do have females who've gone through it, young age, like 40, 41, they've gone through that. So really makes sense there. In your eyes, what are the 3 non-negotiables for a heart-healthy lifestyle?
The 3 non-negotiable things which cannot be bartered would be, number 1, stress, as I've always emphasized. Stress, try to keep it as low as possible. In fact, there are people who do a lot of physical activity, a lot of exercises, and they take equal 3 times more stress. Now that imbalance will completely nullify the sense of your well-being. That means if you take more stress as compared to what you exercise, then it's futile. The balance has to be kept. Stress is non-negotiable. It is very difficult in the present time to do it, but there are avenues to do it. You have to listen to that. Try to ebb it out as much as possible. Have good friends in your life, good company in your life who can actually make you feel better and talk to each other. Express yourself. There are lots of ways where you can reduce your stress. It's a very difficult thing, but stress definitely, as I said, will act in getting you new diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes mellitus, and in the body will alter your heart rate and your blood pressure with wide swings of fluctuation and destroy your body. So that's number 1. Number 2 is diet. That is also non-negotiable. People I see don't eat fruits at all. Yeah. They just don't eat fruits at all. Vegetables, most of them have gone towards, foods which are very, very unhealthy. like Paustik Ahar, we say it in Hindi, you know, individuals are not doing it. Diet has to be well formulated. It's an age-old thing, I mean, but have good diet. Again, non-negotiable. And walking. Keep walking. The entire universe is in motion. Entire universe. The fabric of universe is in motion. That's the most permanent law. Entire thing, the galaxy is moving, the earth is moving, all the planets are moving, the fabric of universe is moving, everything is moving. So we got to take cue from the nature that, movement is very important. So keep on moving. You can't be sitting for a long period of time. Do something. At least get up, pick up a thing and keep over there. Move. You can't be sitting. So movement, exercise, what I mean. Exercise is very important. I am not going to go into the scientificity of, how much of per week you have to do. I think it's per week strenuous exercise and non-strenuous exercise. So per week, at least if you do 70 minutes of, even non-strenuous, just walking. Do that per week, 7 days, 70 minutes. More the merrier. At least keep on walking. That also makes you feel good. So these are the 3 non-negotiables.
Right. When you said walking, it just took me back to, I think, when we go to the gym or we work out physical exercises, they say, even when you do the heart check, because I remember with my father, when we had to do the stress, right? That's what you run like for 2 minutes and then again slow walk. Why do we do that? Like even in day-to-day lives, like I know that people are told to do that.
Well, I think
cardio.
It's like when you reach your target heart rate, in scientificity 220 minus age in years, that's your maximum heart rate. You can't go more than that.
Right.
So if the heart, and even if you attain 85% of that, you're laughing. So when the heart rate crosses limits, then probably you warm up. It's like when you're doing your interview, you warm up before that, so that, or when you're doing your weightlifting, you warm up. Your muscles have to have increased blood flow. So that's how you keep your heart rate elevated for maybe 3 to 6 minutes. At that maximum period, can't go more than that and then come down. So it is important for you to have a break in that too.
Because I remember like the trainers would usually be like, if you're doing a cardio, run for like 2 minutes, like fast, and then you do a slow walk. Then you again run fast and do a slow walk. Then that took me back to, going to maybe your clinic where initially, like back in the day when dad had to do things. So I was just wanting to know about that.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you believe food, movement, and sleep are more powerful than we think?
Yeah, I've just food. Of course, it's very, very important to eat good, healthy food. It is very important. Even if you don't have time, it is very important to eat healthy food. At least eat fruits. 5 fruits have to be eaten. 2, 1, 2, or in the morning you can finish your quota. Vegetables. The body is basically meant herbivorously, not carnivorously. Of course, you eat non-vegetarian food. It's a very strong source of protein. Food plays a very, very important role. You said food. What is the second one?
Movement, exercise.
These are non-negotiables. We have answered that completely. You just can't be sitting sedentary. It will breed diseases. There is no doubt about that. Even if you walk at a leisurely pace, the sense of well-being which you get that you have walked is enough for you to, keep you healthy for the next 3 or 4 days. People say that I can't do brisk walk. But then walk, it gives you a sense of well-being. The mind says, okay, I've walked, I've moved my muscles. Everything needs movement. You can't. Sedentary lifestyle is a no-no. You have to walk. There is no doubt about that at all.
Right. How do you personally decompress after intense day at work?
That's a very good question.
We all want to know that.
Yeah, well, I think it's very tough question to answer because most of them will not like to accept it, because I classify addictions as negative addictions and positive addictions. Negative addictions are which destroy your life, too much of stress, poor eating habit, not sleeping well. Of course, my sleeps are disturbed because of my professional, work. Vices in excess, smoking, recreation. So these are negative. The positive stresses, the positive addictions, pardon me, is meditation. Now, meditation cannot be underestimated no matter how much I say. I mean, I use the word anti-missile. I have failed so much in trying to meditate. I started doing it in 2013. I started off and I failed so much I failed for 4 years. That means 2013 at 17, I failed. But I knew that, after failures, you have to pass. There is no question about that. If you keep on trying and if you fail, then success is assured, because I didn't leave it. Thoughts will engulf you. The more you sit alone in a closed door, just mindfulness, and take on your mind. You're taking on your mind. See, to take on your mind you can take on very powerful individuals in physical fight. That's easier. But to take on your mind is the most difficult thing you're doing in your life, because you're taking mind straight head on. And mind doesn't like it at all. The ego does not like it at all. So I failed for 4 years. But one fine day will come when you realize that you have hit it. And the yardstick is that you feel so good. You feel so good because you're going inwards. Most of them will not understand what I'm trying to say, but people who meditate will understand that, gives you a sense of just well-being. You can call it calm. Words cannot describe calmness or satisfaction, bliss, whatever words you want to use, but you just have a sense of well-being. So to answer your question is that how do you detoxify? Well, this is a very strong mode, because if I don't do it in the morning, then now, that is after 2014, I don't feel good, but you can do it anytime. The simplest is to do a breath watch. It is the most powerful mode of meditation, to watch your breath, not manipulating your breath. Just watch your breath, but it is very difficult still. The thoughts will come and not allow you. Mind always distracts, because mind is insecure. Mind will not let you, control. So mind is very insecure. So that is the most important way I detoxify. I like to watch old black and white Hindi movies, good movies, good songs, Hindi songs, and I used to read quite a lot of spiritual books, which now has become subjective. So if you ask me, these are the modes which I enjoy. But there are so many things which are available. People like to jog, people like to exercise, people like to read books, people like to enjoy music. So these are the modes. But if you ask me, for me, the most powerful tool is meditation.
How many minutes do you meditate?
Oh, not minutes. Means I've got a home in Coonoor. So in Coonoor, it's beautiful because I am away from work. So there it is 2 hours at least, 1.5 to 2 hours. In Bombay, it varies anything between any 30 minutes to 1.5 hours. Sometimes more. Maybe on a Sunday if it's I'm not on call or something of that sort. But then it becomes an addiction, because you feel very, very good. I mean, words cannot describe. It's a subjective feeling which words will not justify.
Right. I mean, I start my day with, at least not as you, 30 minutes and 1 hour. I'm sure I'll get there. But at least, I start my day with a prayer, and then of course I do my bit of meditation and chants, about 15 to 20 minutes. Grown up doing all of that. So been trying. Like you said, the mind always tries to take over. The ego is always there. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to focus on my breath work. And then there's some thought that comes in. Then again, you're like, okay, let's center ourselves. Let's listen to the breath work,
Yes.
So it's tough.
It is.
Beautiful, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, that's really long.
Yeah, well, that's in Coonoor when I go over there, because there's no professional, no calls, and no disturbance. So you get up early in the morning. It's a very ambient atmosphere. You sit down and then that's how it is.
What role does mental health play in all of this? In everything that's happening with the heart,
Mental health, stress, and if you have a stoic mind, a clear mind, or relatively clear mind, the most important scientifically what will do is that your hemodynamics, your pulse and BP, which is governed by the autonomic nervous system, not in your control, is steadied, and so is a heart steadied. And once you have a steady heart, then you're laughing, because then the chances of you tilting off to developing diseases of the heart are much lesser, provided you're not smoking and doing negative vices in excess. Smoking is a no-no. Alcohol in moderation is okay because it can relax you also. So yes, mind is an important player.
Right. When you said laughing, you know what? I just went back to back because you love movies as well. You remember those back in the 90s, like those movies, you had these laughing clubs, right?
Yes.
So the elderly people would go to a park and laugh. So does that really help your heart?
Of course it helps. A sense of well-being is most important thing. It is like, there was I don't quite remember which journal it was, but if you spend quality time with your friends every day, or maybe 4 times a week also, for maybe 2 hours or 1.5 hours or so, it is much more than if you smoke also. I'm not justifying smoking, then that means the person who's smoking and doing this is nullifying the smoking effects also. And that's why, I have my friends come maybe twice or thrice a week. At one point in time, I used to have friends every day, and my wife used to say that it's a darbar which is happening at your place. They used to come because those times are very joyous for me. Even that 1 or 2 hours, if you are transcending your time and you are there in that moment of now, then you are doing justification to your body and the disease is kept at bay. So it is very important, yes.
Right. Agree with you on that, because I
Absolutely.
have my catch-ups with my girls.
Yes.
Nearly every day I try to.
Because
whenever-
you're happy at that point in time and you're not in the past or future, because one is dead, one does not exist. So now is the only thing. So you should enjoy those moments. Yeah.
That's an interesting one, and I'm happy that I'm doing that.
Yes, you should be.
I want to take a moment, Doctor. Thank you personally, because the way you took care of my father, and you've been with us as family, through that time. And I didn't even know, because we were in Chennai at the time, where we sort of went and just did this test. And my father, like you said, like the males, we don't want to do the test. Yes. Mom, you do it. He'll tell the wife, do it. He'll tell me, go and do it. I'm all right. I said, listen, you're not, it's post-COVID, let's go and get yourselves checked. We did that, and the thing was right there where you had all these blockages. And that's when we were like in a panic mode, of course, because you know what the blockages were like. And eventually I said, you know what, this is not the place. I know we've been in Chennai for long, we've been doing all our treatments. Let's go back to the base. Mumbai is where I live. And then, of course, the person who we dearly miss, right, Uncle was there, who helped us through everything, connected me to you. And you've been like God. And I still have the message which he sent me, saying that Dr. Rajesh Rajani, he's been like God to my family. And I also treat you the same right now. So, I would want to thank you right now, firstly, and just want to tell you that how did you deal with a situation like that? Like, I was in a panic mode. I still remember that day when I came to you, and it was COVID time. If you remember, we admitted him, and then we couldn't do that. What did you think at that time, like looking at his heart conditions?
No, I think he is very lean. He's extremely lean, but as long as the BP was okay and he was not, the quality of life was, of course, he had chest pain when he used to walk, but he was an underplayer of symptoms. He never came out with his symptoms quite openly. I think it was quite okay, and faith is an important nectar. You all had faith, and that pulled us through. Faith is very important, because when you have faith, then divinity comes right in front of us, and that's what happened. Everything went off well. So thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Doc. I was sitting outside and just literally praying, and I know it took a little while because you did mention there was some,
Yeah,
thing
he
that you
had
were
a
doing,
complex.
right?
He had a
Did
very
have a
complex anatomy, but it went off quite well, and
Yeah.
we are happy.
And we're happy that he's not smoking anymore.
Yeah, I
Being a
know.
chain smoker.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
yeah.
there. So yeah,
Yes.
but I'm happy. He's healthy and happy now, and all because of you. Thank you very much,
Thank
Doc,
you
for
again.
that. You've treated hundreds, maybe thousands of patients. How do you say? How do you stay so deeply empathetic?
Well, empathy basically comes with experience. Now, of course, I have fallen sick. My parents have fallen sick. My family has fallen sick. Extended family has fallen sick. So when you experience pain, sickness, then that experience gives rise to empathy, which you transmit onto others. And that is how it is. So I have experienced pain, I have experienced sickness, and that experience itself has to be transmitted to the patients. And they should be looked after unconditionally to the best of the abilities. And that is how it comes. So the answer is experience.
Doc, has there been a case that has stayed with you?
Yes, of course. I distinctly remember this is around 17 to 20 years ago. There was a small child, very small child. I think he might be around 4 or 5 years of age, who had a congenital heart disease, some sort of a disease which happens in young kids. And I don't treat young kids. I'm an adult cardiologist basically. So I had called over one of my friends, and this was late at night, started at 10, not quite late, 10 p.m. And we were not able to do that case successfully. And the parents, this was the only male child of the parents, they were very, very poor. But that is okay. We helped him financially, them rather financially. And then suddenly an idea struck to me at night. It was 10:30, and I told the NSS, look, I mean, we can't let this child die. So I want to call one of my friends, another one, and we should try this again, because this is not going to happen. I mean, I didn't give up at all. So this was 11 o'clock, and my NSS friend said, yes, let's do it if we can save his life. So I rang up my friend, I'm not going to name, and he said, yeah. I told him that, look, he has no money at all, so there are no conditions over here. It's a humanitarian this. He is a specialist of young kids, basically, very, very young kids, in cardiology. And he came over, we started at 12 o'clock, we struggled, and came out victorious at 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. Okay, so his life got saved. We didn't give up at all. And after a long time, I see these three people coming towards me, long years now, and all three of them fell flat in front of me, like prostration. And I said, what is going on? Three, a couple, elderly couple, and a young boy, young, healthy looking boy. So I had forgotten completely. He said, sir, you don't remember? So I said, no. So he said, and then he reminded me of the whole thing, The child will not remember, but he's an IAS officer now.
Wow.
Yeah, so this has stuck to me, because the never give up attitude,
Yes.
and non-conditionality, compassion, empathy, all the qualities which are there to apply, you change the lives.
Beautiful, Doc.
Isn't it? So that
It
stayed
is.
on to me, yes.
Yeah.
If you ask me one thing which has stayed on, is this one.
Very touching. Continue.
Shit, I have tears in my eyes. Oh God.
You okay?
Yeah. That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, I didn't know he's unbelievable. He's an IAS officer. Can you believe it? If it would have gone then,
We'll send a copy of this student. We'll find him and we'll send him a copy.
and he's doing such great work of unconditionality over there.
We'll definitely send this interview to him. We'll find him and we'll send this.
This is
I don't know the name and all, I've forgotten it. Yeah, let's go. You okay?
yeah.
Yep.
Well, that was very emotional.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
What changes do you hope to see in the Indian medical healthcare system, Doc?
Well, as far as cardiovascular diseases are concerned, the most important thing is awareness to be created. And it is a duty of the government of India to do that. Of course, how many are going to listen is immaterial.
Yeah.
How many of us are going to listen is the awareness which can be started at the school level. Awareness of heart disease, why it's happening in young kids, why is it happening in young population, how do we go about it, what is stress, what is good diet, what is exercise. It has to be incorporated in the syllabus of the school. So that is very important. So basically that awareness is very important. The second thing which is there is a food, the packaging of the food, healthy food, fortification of food. We should not have foods which, actually destroy the body, So the government has to be extremely passionate about, packaging of the foods as far as food packaging is concerned. The third is smoking. Now they have put statutory warnings and things like that. People are still smoking, but they have to balance it out and do something about that, because if you apply obstacles and curbing, that's going to really improve the standards of healthcare and cardiovascular healthcare in individuals. Then you have accessibility of hospitals. Now rural and urban, there's a deep imbalance.
Yeah, totally.
There's a deep imbalance. So more hospitals, doctors is very difficult. Doctors won't like to go over there, but the awareness to be created that if you have a heart attack, at least the basic thing can be done and then you can be transferred to a bigger hospital, which is happening now. Especially in South India, this is a beautiful model. Spoke and wheel model. You have a heart attack, you get treated basically and then shift to a bigger place with accessibility. Right. So that has to be made. The infrastructure of health, like cycling, separate roads, encourage cycling and things like that. Parks, they are doing it, it's happening now, So those infrastructures have to be created. These are the things which I can think of. And there are lots of things which the government of India can do and is definitely doing as compared to what you see a couple of years ago. So we are definitely on the ball and we are winning.
Right. You were talking about health food packaging. If you're aware, like just few days ago, we did see the news, right, where government has said that vada pav, samosas, like these things now will have a warning thing, because of the heart issues and heart problems that people are facing. I think that was a fantastic move, at least from the government for now. Right?
Yeah, but if people are not listening, see, people want taste. The food ingredients can be changed in a different form. These are all very difficult things to implement because mind works differently. It is finally the mind, Mind works differently. Mind wants easy access. Very few people will be in awareness. It is difficult, but you have to keep on trying. And it comes from inside also. It comes from inside. It's like abroad, if you see, most of them are on a health spree. Yeah. Because to take appointment of a doctor takes a long time. Only emergency cases are treated. So they know that, and that's why they look after themselves well. Right. So that's how in India it's much more easier.
Yeah, makes sense.
So if you get it on platter, then people take you for granted. That's how it is. It's a law.
Yeah, very true. Makes actually all the sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any breakthroughs or technologies that give you hope in your, specific line of work?
Actually, cardiovascular medicine is the only science as compared to the other sciences in medicine which is making rapid developments, leaps and bounds, way ahead. Every 2 to 3 years, rapidity of newer sciences, newer technologies which are coming through. Huge amounts. Artificial intelligence is going to come a big way in cardiology, a very, very big way. Over the next 10 years, you will see artificial intelligence completely taking over cardiology. You know, echocardiography, ECGs, you know, robotics, doing procedures and surgeries from very far, thousands of miles, thousands of kilometers from, you know, so it is making leaps and bounds. I just described to you about the anti-missile of genetics, you know, that's another one. There are medicines which have come, anti-obesity medicines, you know, to reduce your weight which have come. So the science is just going leaps and bounds. All the valves are changed non-surgically, aortic valve, pulmonary valve, tricuspid valve, mitral valve, you know, all these things are changed non-surgically. So that's come. So things are just shaping up, and cardiology science is moving way ahead. So there's lots and lots which have come through and which are going to come through. In fact, there are artificial intelligence which will actually diagnose minutes or hours before that you're going to have a heart attack or not, or how you're feeling. Yeah, the biochemical markers, everything. So AI is going to really take charge, front seat.
Right. Because when it comes to AI, everybody has a different perspective, right? I think medically, it's going to be the best. When it comes to other things, people are like they're misusing it, and a lot of things are happening digitally, you know.
Yes.
But this, from your end, from what I hear, is quite challenging. And it takes me back also, like when, I'm just taking example of my dad, his conditions, we didn't have to go through an open heart surgery. So I'm just thinking, like 10, 20 years later, what will happen if somebody comes with a heart, you know, problem?
Well, 10, 20, 30 years later, if somebody comes with a heart problem, then probably the doctors might not diagnose it. It will be in the hands of artificial intelligence, because the doctor will be there and the procedure will be, can be done robotically. That means a person is in, let's say, Siliguri,
Right.
and he's sick, he wants angioplasty, you can do it from here. Dr. Rajani will handle the robotics and do it from Bombay, and he's sorted. You know, so this is going to happen. This is going to happen. The only permanent thing of cosmic law is its impermanence. That means nothing will be the same. Impermanence is the only permanent cosmic law.
Correct.
Things will keep on changing. Change is the cosmic law.
Right.
It will not be steady. So that's going to happen. You're absolutely correct.
We'll have to wait and watch. In 20 years, Sasha will definitely, and I would want to see you and go back to this conversation and say that, hey, listen, this is what we had discussed 20 years ago. That'll be interesting, right? Sure. Okay, this one is a very important question because I feel all of us need to know that, you know. What's your message to all the young Indians today?
Message to everybody on planet Earth,
Yes.
which of course has been imbibed from my spiritual master Dada Shriji. I really enjoyed that. He said that time has come when your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health and your spiritual health should be nearly in the straight line. There should be less scatter as much as possible. Of course, divine scatter is straight line, but less scatter. You can't have a physical health over there, dot, and the emotional health over there, and your mental health over there. So it doesn't become a straight line. It should be nearly a line. Time has come that all the four things which I mentioned, physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, and mental health, should be in near balance. Only those individuals will be able to propel in the present times who have this balance kept. And believe you me, Sasha, this is very important. If you understand and repeat it again and again, that's how it is. You can't have a good physical health and then you have a mental health completely gone.
Yeah.
That will again not balance the whole thing. And your emotional health, not very good. Physical health is okay, mental health is okay. Your spiritual health, not very good. Spiritual as of, you know, just, I'm not saying spiritual is to be religious or believe in God. Being a good human being. That is your spirituality, to be what you are naturally.
Right.
So that has to be there. There are people who don't believe in God but are good human beings. So that's okay.
Yeah.
That's very fine. So that is a message I would like to give in short. There is no rocket science in this. People will understand, and I wish them all the best wishes and best luck.
Yes, great. This conversation reminded me that health isn't just medical. It's personal, it's emotional, and it's deeply cultural. I hope today's episode gave you not just answers, but also awareness. Thank you, Dr. Rajesh Rajani, for opening your heart to us quite literally. If this episode made you pause and reflect, share it with your loved one who you care about. And as always, stay tuned for more real stories and impactful voices right here on Get Candid.